Okay, hello everyone. How's everybody doing? Today I'm going to talk about, seems like it's a little known discussion point or it's not very discussed very much. And I think, I think it's useful or beneficial to consider the fact that it really doesn't matter what we think about God as far as whether or not he's moral or not, or not he's just in quote unquote killing babies, killing thousands of people. It really doesn't matter what you think about him because he's God, he's your maker, and he can do anything he wants with you. But it's a little bit concerning or disconcerting, at least for the sake of certain unnamed atheists. I don't want to mention their scholar fiction's name or anything, but it's a little concerning to me, how blasphemous he can be. And, it's not the right approach when you approach God. You want to, try to be respectful to God, when you approach God. And, God is not like you. He doesn't respond like you, obviously. Otherwise, you would be toast. But even so, it's a good idea not to be, overtly blasphemous and, doing some of the stuff the atheists do, not just counterfiction, of course. But it really doesn't matter if you think that God promotes slavery. It doesn't matter if you think he's a baby killer. It doesn't matter. Because he's the one that makes the rules and he's the one that decides. When the day that he's had enough of people, he'll just do away with you. In fact, there's a verse that talks like that. He says he doesn't worry about people because they're just flesh. They're going to be dead sooner or later anyway. So God is not worried about people that are overtly blasphemous or antagonistic to God, because he knows their days are numbered anyway. They're just going to be gone. And in fact, he wants people to live a nice life. It's the only thing they have. He also says that, I mean, it's clear, the rain falls on the just and the unjust, but he gives good days to the atheist. He lets them enjoy a good life as long as they're responsible and ingenious as far as making a living and things like that. So, and he's good to atheists. He lets them live a nice life, nice, comfortable life. It's the only thing they have. They might as well enjoy it. But of course, if you're too antagonistic and you start hurting a lot of people with your antagonism and your hatred of God and things like that, as far as leading people astray and leading children astray and kids astray. Jesus himself said it'll be better that a millstone be hung around your neck and be thrown into the sea. than for you to be leading kids astray or leading people astray. And, you know, if you know, go to the extremes, it's a possibility that God could just, say, okay, I've had enough of this guy, just do away with him. I mean, there is that possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you should at least respect God for that. Now they'll probably say, well, I don't believe in God anyway, so you got to prove he exists. There's no evidence. They think there's no evidence of God. There's no. It's a joke to me when they say there's no evidence of God. Everything is evidence of God. All the evidence is of God. There is no evidence that's not of God, because everything requires energy. Nothing can make itself. Nothing can order itself. Nothing can direct itself. And everything requires energy, and energy comes from a greater source of energy. All power comes from a greater power. All intelligence comes from a greater intelligence. It's really, all you have to do is just look at what the evidence is, look at what the facts are. And of course, there's a God. And of course, he cares about you. And of course, he is the biblical God. Because it was the goat herders that you malign that got it right. That God is all knowing, all powerful, and eternal. They're the only ones that got it right. They're the only ones that followed the evidence to where it leads. The evidence leads to a greater and greater, more powerful, more intelligent, more loving God, and that there is. So, and a more holy God. And so all this defamation that you do about God is totally baseless, and it doesn't really matter because he can do anything he wants with you. Not to mention the fact that he died for you too. Contrary to the Calvinist teaching is wrong. Jesus died for everyone. He covers for everyone's sin. And now he owns you. So he bought you back. He owns you. Okay, you were separated from God because of your sin. In Adam, we're all separated from God because of our sin. But God bought us back. He owns us. He owns everyone. And he can do with you whatever he wants. And that's the thing. He says when you're walking to the judge, you're going to be, you're going to have to stand in front of the judge. You try to make friends with him before you get there. If you were smart, there's no, you don't want to be antagonistic to God as you're going down. You want to make amends. You want to try to change things for the better and try to see if you can do what's right. It's not easy doing what's right. You can criticize Christians all day long, but I want to see you try to do what's right. I want to see you try to be perfect. I want to see you try to be holy and see how that goes. Christians, we live our entire lives trying to figure out how to be holy. And God said to see if you can find it in you to do what the right thing is to do. To see if you can do it. Okay, so we have to want to do what's right. We have to succeed in doing what's right. And of course, you know what the law is. The law says what you can't do. And as soon as you know what you can't do, that's exactly what you want to do. So it's not easy. You have to learn to want to do what's right. And it's a lifelong process. You have to, you know, want to be like God in every way. And not everybody is even hardly close to that, but that's what the object is. And you can criticize Christians all day long, but they're the ones trying to do what's right. And we start off by telling the truth. We tell the truth that only God can be your Savior, nobody else can be. Hey, what's up, Javier and Matt Bond? How you doing? Anybody can join if they want, because I was talking about how blasphemous some of the atheists are. Not to mention Scholar Fiction's name, because he's not the only one, but there's, a lot of people are very antagonistic to God, and when they should be seeing what's going on and trying to do what's right, and they think there's no evidence of God, but there's all kinds of evidence of God, and all the evidences of God. There's no evidence that's not of God. Um, so, I would like to have a discussion with somebody, anybody, it could be Scholar Fiction, could be anybody. I mean, I have had a discussion with Scholar Fiction before. Of course, I guess he was one of the first people that interviewed me. But, we're not afraid to back up what we believe. We're very capable of backing up what we believe. Because it's thermodynamics. I mean, energy didn't come from nowhere. And of course, everything requires energy. Time and space itself requires energy. It requires the formation of matter, which causes the dilation of time and space. So, yeah, I understand it's not, you're not obligated to join. And of course, and everybody has things to do and stuff. Um, but yeah, we have uh, we have evidence to back up everything we believe, and we have science on our side. We gave you science. I mean, all the people that gave you the laws of science, everything, most of them were Christians. Most of them believed in God anyway, because that's what the evidence shows, and that's what the purpose of science is. Even with Isaac Newton, the purpose is to show people and lead people to God. That was the whole purpose of Isaac Newton. He spent most of his time talking about God, and on the side he wrote the most basic, awesome scientific journal of all time, basically. They got everybody started, pretty much. Of course, there was people before him, but it's very impressive, the mind of people that believe in God, that know God. You really can't, you can't mess with us. Can't touch that. So, um, so we can back up what we say, and the invitation is out there for any atheist to come have a discussion. I talk with, I text with, I don't know, must be hundreds of atheists, most of them sock accounts. And of course, they'll never actually come into a live discussion. One, because they don't want you to know who they are, and two, they know they can't back up what they say. And um, they can't back up what they say. And all the evidence is on our side. I I put it up on a big screen. uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I know people. This friendly joking is not serious here. So, um, yeah. So we have all the evidence. We have science behind us, and atheists are afraid and ashamed to talk about, which I had another video on. And now with this blasphemous thing, that they're trying to get God's attention in some way. Apparently, if God is real, maybe God will pay attention to them, trying to get his attention or something. But God just basically ignores blasphemous people, knowing and understanding that their end is coming soon. And he knows every detail about how your end is going to come. So, because we were just watching on Praise's channel, we were just watching the prophecy for King Ahaz. He said not to worry about the Ephraim tribe, the tribe of Israel that threatened Judah. He said not to worry about them. In 65 years, they're going to be gone anyways. so, so he knows every detail about how your end is going to come. So it's not like he's worried about it. And of course, it's really futile. It doesn't matter what you think about the morality of God. He's holy to begin with. And it doesn't matter if you think he's a baby killer or if he promotes slavery. It doesn't matter, because he's the one is your judge, who's going to determine where you go. I'm not really following too closely the conversation here, but so yeah, I'd just like to, give atheists a little heads up. You don't want to be poking the hornet's nest. You don't want to be, you know, clanging the clanging the cage of a tiger. Especially an open air tiger. He just might jump out, and he just might get fed up with you and take you out. But otherwise, he's just going to let you live through your days. That's the only thing you have. You don't have eternal life. You know, your end is coming soon, because there's going to be no liars in heaven. There's no place for liars in heaven. They don't exist. Lies don't actually exist. So in eternity, you're not going to exist as a liar. Anyways, you'll be a disgrace and a shame forever. A shame and a disgrace forever, because you couldn't see the simple facts because of your hatred for God. The simple, obvious truth that there is a creator of everything there is, everything. I mean, We get tired of saying how much evidence and proof there is of God. Written instruction to make you human, that didn't happen by chance. I don't care how many mistakes were selected for. You're not going to get written instruction that's not there. It doesn't happen in real life, and it's not going to happen in your fantasy dreams either. So, you might as well just face it that there is a God, there is a creator. He made you, he owns you because he made you, and he owns you as the sinner as you are because he died for you. Jesus can die for Adam because he is Adam without sin. So he paid your price. He took the punishment of death that you deserve so that you can live and change your mind. And as long as you're not changing your mind, you're attacking God, you're just making it worse for yourself. So I guess that's about it. It's just I'm concerned about atheists that don't believe in God, that don't see the evidence of God, and they're attacking Christians, Christianity, and God, and being blasphemous and just very basically horrible people. But we can understand it if you're not looking at things the way they really are. We can see you can make mistakes, but we're just concerned for you. I'm concerned for you anyways. I'm concerned for scholar fiction and all the other skeptics and atheists and everybody else, and Dr. Josh too, especially Dr. Josh because he should know better. But there's that. So all the evidence is of God. There is no evidence disproving God. And he made you, he owns you because he made you, and he bought you back from sin because he paid your price, and so he owns you twice. And he's holy, and he does nothing wrong. He does no wrong. He can't do any wrong because he's eternal. He wouldn't be eternal if he did anything wrong. And we're just a fabrication anyway, so it doesn't matter what happens to us. We're just matter. It's not wrong to make us and to do away with us. It's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. He's the one that made us. He can unmake us if he wants. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's wrong for us to want to do away with somebody else that God made and that God is allowing to live. And then when we don't want somebody to live that God is allowing to live, that's a big problem. That is a problem. But God can do away with us at any time. He can do things to Christians. He did to Job what he did to Job. He can do anything he wants with it. He's God. He made us. He can do anything he wants. And if you're smart, you would, want to get on his good side, or at least, of course, getting on someone's good side, with evil intentions is he can see through that. But if you're really trying to change things and do things right and make things right, then he sees that too. Of course, like James says, if you resist the devil, he will flee from you. And that's exactly true. All you have to do is want to do what's right, and you will do what's right.